What's going on, guys? So I know a few people did expect me to do a reaction to the whole Hillsong thing. I wasn't really a fan of talking about that. Honestly, I still don't really care to talk too much about it because it's been a lot of scandals going on around lately, right? Then there's so many YouTubers who are, one, talking about these things to get views. Two, there are people talking about these things to bash the people in these scenarios. And three, there are some people in these scenarios trying to justify and make up all the excuses in the world on why, things happen, And I'm not here to do any of those things, but what I want to say is this. I saw a post and I thought it perfectly applied to the situation that's been going on with Hillsong, with the scandals, and Pastor Houston, and with Gavi, Christian hip hop artists. I'm still gonna do a segment sort of about the Gavi situation, but not about him specifically. But I saw this post on social media that I thought relates perfectly in what I want you guys to hear. My quick thoughts regarding this. It says, a fool sees another man's downfall as a topic of discussion. A wise man sees it as a warning to himself. Now, a lot of people are quick to talk about these trending topics and to bash those pastors. And I'm not talking about unsaved people, because we already know they're not going to like the church. They're going to bash the church. People don't trust the church. They don't trust people in leadership. But I'm talking about people in church that are so quick to say, oh, Hillsong was a false church. Gavi was never a real Christian. And all these things, and they attack the Ravi Zacharias and those people of the world. But I want you to understand, it is easy to talk about another person's downfall. But wisdom is going to tell you, take heed so that's not you. So there's a verse in 1 Corinthians 6, and I'm going to read in the NLT for you guys. 1 Corinthians 10, my apologies. It says, if you think you are standing strong, be careful not to fall. The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, and God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, he will show you a way out so that you can endure. So we see that every last one of us are not going through a battle that someone else isn't going through. We want to condemn Gavi. Gavi's going through a situation someone else is going through that you won't know about because they didn't get exposed. It's so easy for us to condemn the Hillsongs of the world and the Brian Houstons, or whatever his name is, Pastor Houstons of the world, when there are so many leaders, maybe even in your church, that have that issue. Maybe that'll be you one day. And it's so easy to be the one to condemn. Now, bear in mind, they need to be held responsible for every bit of their actions. But if you're the one trying to throw that stone and you see, I told you that was a false church all along. If you're one of those people, please understand the Bible mentions you be careful that you don't fall into that same situation. Like the Bible mentions in Galatians 6:1, if someone is overtaken in a fault, the people who are spiritual, not the people in church, the Bible says, ye who are spiritual should help that person and consider your own self lest you be tempted with that same thing, because any of us can fall into the same temptations we're condemning people about. Let's bear in mind about that. So the Bible makes it clear. This is a verse I stand by when it comes to all of these things and issues that people face. And it's this, Philippians 2:12, wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So while it's easy to focus on what everyone else is doing and condemn everyone else, please understand you can do that. But you make sure that you're working out your own salvation. While we can condemn what Brian Houston is guilty of, make sure you have those proper guardrails up front that you're not falling into those same situations. Make sure that you are doing what you need to do so that you don't fall into the same sins as all of these artists and all those people. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm not going to make this too long. I'm not going to justify any of their sins. Whenever it comes to situations like this, I understand we have a page about relationships, purity, dating, and stuff like that. So people are expecting us to talk about it. But I do want you to understand it's not the will of God for you to get on the internet bashing people as if you're perfect. I'm just saying, there was a woman caught in adultery, but they only brought the woman. Why didn't they bring the man? Because sometimes we only condemn people that's convenient for us to condemn. If it was the pastor that you don't like, you would have been talking about him. But if it was a pastor you did like, we want to hear anything from you. So I want y'all to be careful on this internet, because the Jamaicans got a saying, today for me, tomorrow for you. While you condemn me today, tomorrow it might be your turn. So what I'm telling you to do, church, work out your own salvation. Stop putting your trust and your faith in leadership. Stop putting your trust and your faith in these couples that you see on the internet, goals and relationship goals. They may have a great marriage on the internet and it be terrible in person. Someone may look spiritual on the pulpit and they may be carnal the moment they get off. They accuse that man of drinking. Someone may look sober as ever on the pulpit and preaching up a storm, and they could be the biggest drunk, alcoholic, promiscuous person the moment service is over. So while we are always tempted to idolize people in ministry, please take this as a warning. There is no one that deserves glory but God, and we are all susceptible to those things. So my warning is, take heed lest you fall. And all of you who are quick to bash these people on the internet, live right. I'm telling you. Because you bashing those people, tomorrow your scandal might be up on Facebook. I'm just saying, what are y'all thoughts on all these situations? But for the people that did listen to the end of this video, I'm just praying for you that you continue walking in God's will. Because just because you love God doesn't mean that you aren't able to fall. That's my thoughts. Love y'all. Peace.